Hello everybody, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be going over every single book I read in 2023. Mind you, it was only 16 books, but I'm still pretty proud of them and, living a busy little college life, balancing everything, and definitely went through a little bit of a reading slump in a period of time of this year. I feel like 16 is good enough. I did not meet my goal, unfortunately. I think my goal was 20 because I read 20 last year, but it's okay. We're gonna get better. 2024 goal is 15, so I can hopefully pass it since I didn't this past year. But yeah, let's get right into it. The first book I read of 2023 was the It Ends With Us sequel called It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. I gave this book 3 stars. I could have given it 2. I gave it 3 because I knew that I do still love the characters. Like, It Ends With Us was one of my favorite books at one point in time. Gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I love Atlas. I love Lily. Like, I love them together. This book did not do it for me. I don't really like the pregnant trope. It's not where I am in life, so I don't really love reading about it. But I don't know. I just don't think this was necessary. I don't think this needed to be made. Basically, this is after what happens in It Ends With Us. Lily and Ryle, trigger warning, are co-parenting her daughter, and she hasn't seen Atlas in a while, and then she runs into him. He's running his oh wait, was that It Ends With Us? Yes, he's still running his restaurant. Guys, I don't remember this. And I don't know, her and Ryle are going through it, and obviously not getting along, but she obviously doesn't want him out of her life because he's her daughter's father. But her and Atlas grow close again, and they start dating. And they really, rekindle that love. And Atlas and Ryle hate each other. I don't know what else happens. It's so unnecessary to me. Again, 3 stars just for the reason of Alice and Lily. Then I read Unravel Me. It's the second book in the Shatter Me series by Tahiri Mafi. I don't think I said that right. I read the first book in 2022. I don't know why I didn't read this right away, but it's such a long series and I was not obsessed with it enough to keep reading it one after the other. I gave this 4 stars. I like the series. I do definitely want to read the next one this year. It's like a dystopian enemies to lovers. The second book is about Juliet. She escaped from the establishment and she is free to not be this pawn or this weapon that they use, because if you remember from the first book, I don't know if anybody read it, but her touch is lethal. She can kill someone with her touch, but she doesn't kill Warner, who is her little enemy boy, but they definitely have feelings for each other. I can't remember if they even end up getting together in this book. If not, I need it next. But she also has this relationship with Adam, but she knows that she probably shouldn't be in his life because it's only hurting him. I don't know. It's good. It kind of gives Hunger Games vibes-ish. It's just dystopian, maybe not Hunger Games. Then I read the most amazing book to ever exist, If He Had Been With Me by Lauren Allen. This book shattered me into pieces, like the Shatter Me series. Sobbed. I couldn't stop thinking about it. 5 stars, 5 million stars. This is the best book ever. Maybe my favorite book I read this past year, maybe. The sequel's coming out, and I just pre-ordered it. It's coming out in February, and I think it's Finn's point of view, the boy's point of view. But guys, my memory's so bad. Okay, best friends to lovers. Autumn and Finn, best friends since childhood. But then they got to high school and they started ignoring each other. They weren't friends anymore. And then somehow they rekindle their relationship. Finn is this he became really popular in high school and Autumn was not. I love the name Autumn. I love both their names. Autumn and Finn is such a cute little duo name. But her and Finn rekindle their friendship, and then it becomes obviously more because they always had that. And there's this huge plot twist. Well, in the beginning, something bad has happened. The first words are literally talking about an accident. And that's all you hear in the beginning, and then it goes right into the story, and then Full circle moment at the end, you find out what happened. And it breaks your heart, even though you kind of know already in the beginning. Then I read the Maybe Someday series by Colleen Hoover. This is just like a 2-book series. So I did read one after the other. I got it as a gift, so I was like, of course. I actually enjoyed the series. I gave Maybe Someday 4 stars. I gave Maybe Now 3 stars. I don't think Maybe Now was necessary, but I did enjoy it. But it could be just a standalone. It's about a songwriter, Sydney, and she has this huge breakup with her boyfriend when she finds out cheated on her with someone that she loves, that's close to her. And she just notices this guy across her apartment building always playing the guitar, and that is Ridge, and he is a musician, but he's deaf. No, wait, is he deaf? Yeah, he's deaf, which she doesn't realize, and then she meets him, and they get really close, and they just really connect and understand each other like no other. And, you know, she tries not to, like, get in a relationship with him, but ends up being this, like, kind of songwriter-musician duo, which I really like that trope. Then I read the long-awaited Happy Place by Emily Henry. Anything Emily Henry writes, it could literally be a food recipe. Like, I will read it. I bow down to her. She's my favorite author. I love her so much. I gave Happy Place 4 stars. I almost gave it 3 stars until I realized the whole story. Like, I kind of processed it, and I was like, wait, this is a really good plot. Basically, I don't like the hardcover. I wish I got the paperback, but I got it right when it came out, and the paperback wasn't available. Basically about this, it surrounds these 2 people, Harriet and Wynn. They dated in college. They were like this perfect couple. Everybody thought they were gonna, you know, be endgame, and they broke up. But they never told their friend group, so they are all finding themselves in this main cottage. This is such a good summer read, the friend group. But they pretend that they're still dating to not, like, ruin the moment. They realize how the reason why they were together, and something happened before that also was a huch life-changing moment that could have been that they broke off. I'm assuming you can guess what it is, but I don't really want to spoil it. But I like the setting and everything. I just think that the characters are a little older to me, or were older in life than me, so I couldn't relate to it as much. But I guess the other ones are too. I don't know. It just wasn't as, it's just my least favorite one for some reason. I love you, Emily Henry, don't hate me, but I wasn't in love with the story like the others. But I gave it 4 stars for the whole concept of it. Then I read Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, second favorite author. Love her so much. I gave this 4 stars. I love the Riva family. It was so nice getting to know all the kids. You know, we met Mick Riva in Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but we didn't really know too much about him. But I love Nina Riva. Like, I love that this was in her point of view and learning about all the siblings. And it's such a good summer read. Like, they're in Malibu, I think. Yeah. Malibu Rising. They have this big estate and they have this huge party, but there's obviously a lot of secrets with this, like, well-known, like, rich, extravagant family. There's always darkness to it all, but we kind of just learn about everything that they've gone through. And oh yeah, there's a fire. It's the day of their annual summer end party, and the night ends with flames. So we learn, like, how we got to that point, and it's just, like, so exciting. Like, kind of like a Gatsby vibe, but, like, summery beach, LA, I don't even know. But it's also so, like, about surfers. Like, most of the family surfs, and I think they're adapting it into a movie. So I am gonna love that. I'm gonna eat it up. They slay Daisy Jones in the sex, so I believe that they can do it again. I think they're making an Evelyn Hugo movie too, or series. Then I read Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. I'm the girl who says that I'm not into Colleen Hoover that much this year. Like, I'm literally reading so many. I'm just trying to catch up, you know. There's a lot of, like, significant ones that I know people love. I loved Heartbones. One of my favorites by her. I gave it 4 stars. I think I would have given it 4.5. I don't know. It's not really showing up on my Goodreads right now, but basically, summer read. A lot of these are summer reads. I make sure to make a summer read list, and I read every single book, because I think it was like 8 this year. But main character is Bea. She has a really tough childhood. Her mom is awful, and she just doesn't, like, live in a great environment. Anyway, she is going to go spend the summer in Texas with her father that she barely knows. She doesn't really have much of a relationship with him, but she's going to spend the summer with him due to an incident that happened at home. And she really doesn't want to be there, but this is enemies to lovers. She meets this boy named Samson. You know, he lives in this area and he is the boy next door to her father's house. I think Samson has some trauma too, maybe, but yeah. Oh yeah, he does. Yeah. I don't remember what his trauma is, but it's a fun story. Well, not fun. It's actually hard, like emotional read, but like really good. More about Heartbones because I don't think I explained it very well. Got blurry with all these different stories that I read, but basically Bea is thrust into this new family that her dad has. Obviously she didn't have a relationship with him, so that's already super difficult. But honestly, I say like it sets in the summer before college, so it's very much a formative summer experience, that like last moments of childhood, but she's also trying to grasp everything that she'd been through with her awful upbringing with her mother, who I think had drug issues or alcoholism, something like that. And then just meeting this new family and kind of learning her way with it and trying to learn to trust her dad again. But the boy, Samson, like ends up being really there for her, and their different backgrounds kind of collide in a way and they learn from each other. But they also know that this probably will be the last time they'll ever see each other. They'll only have this summer. And that's what's kind of looming throughout the book. I read The Roughest Draft by Austin Sigmund Broca and Emily Wibberley. They're like I think they're married or dating duo. I've had this on my list for a while, so I was like, let's finally read it. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was fun for the summer. Like, it's not really bad, but it's nothing like too amazing. I don't know if I loved the writing. I think sometimes I was getting bored, but basically it's about Katrina and Nathan. They're literary stars, but they're like competing. And they end up writing a book together, and it's like this huge book that everybody like knows. It's a bestseller, and then their partnership ends, and everybody knows it's on bad terms, but nobody knows why. But then years later, they have a contract where they're supposed to write one last book together. So they're forced to reunite, and they stay in this like tiny little Florida town. So it's kind of like this is like a book lover's dupe, I would say. Oh wait, no, beach read. Or book lovers. No, beach read. I think it's a beach read dupe. What's the one? You guys know what I'm saying. And, you know, at first they hate each other, but they realize they need to work together to write this book. And they kind of hash it out. We find out why they stopped being a writing duo since they were so good. And they're also writing a romance novel. So, you know what that means. But, yeah, it was fun. Florida setting. Summary. Then I read When We Collided by Emery Lloyd. 5 stars. 5 stars. This is so underrated. I don't hear many people talk about it. I saw on TikTok, few people were recommending it for a summer read, but nobody really raves about it, and I'm going to rave about it. And there's actually a movie confirmed, and it's starring Laura Morano and Gavin Castellano. Summer Turned Pretty, Laura Morano, Austin Alley. And I'm excited. I think it's going to be great, and I think the casting seems good. So basically, Jonah and Vivi are the characters, and this like is so broad, the reasoning. I really need to like remember the books I read, but I'm reading the backs. They end up embarking on this incredible summer that they never expected. Coming in to tell you guys, I did an awful job at explaining this book, so I'm going to talk about it now because I looked it up to remember. But basically, When We Collided is about Vivi, who is spending the summer with her mom, but she suffers from bipolar depression. So, you know, she's going through it. I think she had some scary instances in the past with it. Anyway, she meets this boy, Jonah, and she's instantly, like, in awe of this boy. He has a bunch of siblings, and essentially he's taking care of them all by himself because his father passed away, and his mom is severely depressed about it, and I think it's been like a year and she hasn't like got out of bed. So he is having to take care of all his siblings, which he has a lot of, and they're all little. And Vivi ends up kind of coming in and essentially getting to be part of this family. All his siblings are in love with her, and she helps take care of them while also slowly falling in love with this boy who has gone through so much and has been forced to grow up so fast. And they're able to help each other out with their different things that they're going through. And we had the long-awaited next book by Carly Fortune. She blew it out of the waters with Every Summer After. That was one of my favorite reads of 2023. I adore that book, and people loved it because it was very similar to The Summer I Turned Pretty, but nobody loved the cheating trope. So this is Meet Me at the Lake, and I gave it 3 stars. Did not like this book. I just did not. I tried. I got it because I knew I loved her, and I had hopes because it's a summer setting. It's about Fern and Will, and they spend 24 hours together. Will is this like artist. He's like drawing something, a mural, I think, in her coffee shop. I think they have this amazing connection. They talk that whole like 24 hour, that whole day, and they hang out. But then they don't live in the same. I think she lives in Canada. They don't live in the same. I don't think they live in the same country or city. I don't even know. But they plan to meet again once every year. They have this date picked out, and Fern, the girl, shows up, but Will doesn't. So that ruins everything. And she spends years thinking about that. She doesn't reach out again, obviously. So flash forward, I think it's like 10 years or something. An incident happens where she has to go back home to run the lake resort. I think it might be in Canada. I don't really remember. It's her mom's, and her ex-boyfriend's the manager, but they have this like good relationship. But then all of a sudden, Will shows up to help out at the lake. Somehow he made this deal with her mom, and they have to learn to work together. And he's obviously living at the resort where she is. So they keep colliding and, talk about that time that he never showed up. So it's a good story, but I just really didn't, I don't know. I don't think the banter was great. Like the chemistry wasn't chemistry the way I wanted it to. So. Then we have the infamous Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I don't know why it took so long to read it, but I read it this past year. I gave it 4 stars. I get the hype. There was one point in the book where I was like going page by page, obsessed. The chemistry is just off the charts. Like you just feel this connection between these 2 characters so strongly, and it's just like you gravitate towards it. Enemies to lovers, fake dating. We love it, right? I definitely want to read more from her because I heard that people like other books by her better. Basically, Olive and Adam, they're both scientists, and Olive is working hard to enhance her career. Adam is a professor, and I think, is he her professor? I don't know. One day, she ends up kissing him for no reason at all. Well, you'll see why. Out of panic. And she realizes it's this professor that everybody hates. He's this like hard, like stone cold guy. Like nobody likes him. People say he's really mean and harsh for his critiques. But he's very well known. And she just asks him to be her fake boyfriend. So they come up with this deal and they're fake dating. And the fake turns to real, and they end up really liking each other. And Adam is like, I don't know. Adam's very much a supporter. Oh, and they met before any of this happened. They had this really, not intimate, but like emotionally intimate, a vulnerable moment. But she doesn't realize it was him. So. I don't know how I'm messing this up so much, but I also forgot to kind of mention more that she's dating. She wants to fake date him to convince her best friend that like she's capable of like finding love and like she's fine. I don't remember why he will fake date her. I don't even know if it's just he doesn't care, but yeah. And there's this like moment where she learns that he's like extremely supportive and will defend her no matter what. It's also like grumpy sunshine in a way. I forgot to mention that this book literally heavily talks about sexual harassment in the workplace and like power imbalances. I don't know how I forgot to mention that. Everyone and their mother knows this book. 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. This is supposed to be like this amazing like 5-star read. I gave it 3 stars. I didn't even give it 4 stars. I gave it 3 stars. Guys, this was the cringiest book I ever read. Well, maybe not the cringiest, but like one of the cringiest books I've ever read. They just like talk. I mean, it's about 17-year-olds, but the entire book is like, I love you so much. Like, you were just my girl, my Rune, my... It's just like too childish for me, and I can't deal with it. Basically, 17 years old, like Rune and Poppy. Rune is from Norway, and Poppy is just... They live in Georgia. He moves to Georgia when he's really young. They become best friends because they're like boy next door, which is really cute. Like, the plot is great. Rune's family has to move, and Poppy and him promise to like stay in contact, but something happens and they lose contact and everything changes. Their relationship isn't like how it was. But then he moves back and they have to deal with the repercussions of why they stopped talking to each other. But they're like this huge, it's this like this huge soulmates thing. But also, I will warn you, there is a sickness trope in this. So it's sad, but it was just so cringy to me. Like, I can't deal with that. So that's why it's 3 stars. Then I read Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I was so excited to read this. I heard so much amazing things. I gave it 4 stars. I love this book. At one point, like, I read probably like this much in one day. Like, I was addicted. The plot is so great. This is a doctor trope. So Brianna just finalized a divorce and her brother needs a kidney donor and she wants a promotion in the office. And there's this new doctor named Jacob, and he's kind of like, she thinks that they're like competing for this new promotion role, and he's this well-known doctor, so she has a feeling that he's gonna like get it above her, but she doesn't want that. So enemies to lovers. And all of a sudden they're writing letters to each other. That's why it's called Yours Truly. They're writing little notes to each other in the office. And she realizes that he's not this awful monster. And they start building a connection, obviously. And my favorite part is Jacob is this cute little, like, he has really bad anxiety, social anxiety. And, you know, she kind of learns that, and she's kind of that, like, comfort for him. And he's just like my boy, like this little, like, soft boy that, like, is not, he might look like he's, like, this big shot, but he's really, like, the sweetest thing in the world. And he doesn't like, he's so keeps to himself. He has this dog that he brings everywhere. He ends up offered to donate his kidney for her brother because he's a match, which she's been trying to find. And that obviously changes everything. So then, fake dating trope. His brother is getting married to his ex-fiance. So Brianna becomes like his date to a fake girlfriend so they can like get off his back. So people just feel sad for him when they think of his brother and the ex-fiance, which is effed up, honestly. And she needs to fake date because her mom, or they think she's gonna be like lonely. Or they think she's lonely. I don't even know. I really liked it. It was fun. Then I read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. How many years too late? I think this came out in 2020. So many years too late. But I watched the movie and then I read the book. Biggest regret in my life. Never doing that again, especially for the Hunger Games. Not sure why I didn't read this. Did Tom Blythe play a role in why I read this? Look at how many marks I made. You can see that in all my books, but like this one is insane because I put like a little tab on every comparison to the book, and every time you can see Snow slowly turn bad, and then obviously Lucy and Snow moments. But this book, I think you need to read this before the movie, but if you don't, watch the movie and read this because the movie kind of doesn't portray Snow with as evil intentions as he actually does. When you hear his inner thoughts, you get chills because you can tell he cares more about control and power than love. And did he love Lucy Gray? This is a debate. I think he loved Lucy Gray, but he loved power and control more, and he wanted the control over her. And you can tell how he's like, my Lucy Gray, like very controlling, and it's a little triggering, but there's so many cute Lucy and Snow moments in this. Like, they just like are so in love in this. The movie didn't really like show their romance as much, which like I get it. Kind of have to pick and choose, but you need to read this. I gave this 5 stars. This was incredible. I really love this movie. After Catching Fire, I gave this second. I said this in my last YouTube video. Basically, I'm sure everybody watching has watched The Hunger Games, but this is about Coriolanus' Snow, his like start, like his childhood and what brought him to become President Snow. And we met we learn about Tigress, his cousin, and Lucy Gray, who's this girl from District 12. She's the singer, and he's just drawn to her immediately. He is her mentor in this Hunger Games, and you know, they form this connection and they save each other. In the end, there's a lot of betrayal. So good. My last but not least read for 2023 was Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, the infamous one. Everybody loves a hockey romance. I love a hockey romance. I've had this on my TBR for so long, and I decided to finally read it. You know, winter time, Christmas time, I was reading it. Perfect. I gave it 3 stars. I don't know. The plot had so much potential, but they were going nowhere. And there's too many characters where I was getting confused. Like, I loved, like, learning about all the boys, but then we didn't learn enough, and it was just, like, too much. It was so scattered, and there was, like, a breakup in the, like, 4th quarter or whatever it is of the book, and I don't like when they do that, because then you're like, are they even gonna end up together? Basically, hockey boy, skater girl, they end up having to share the rink at their college, and it causes an issue. They hate, like, she just hates him. He kind of wants to be friends with her because they know they have to work together. But anyway, they slowly, you know, they just gravitate towards each other, and they just have this, like, tension between each other. And, you know, it becomes something more, but she's really scared of commitment, so that shows with that, and she feels a lot of pressure of being, like, this amazing skater, and he is an awful dad, and that doesn't support his dreams, so they, like, are really able to be vulnerable with each other, which is nice. But then there's too much. This is a little bit smut, and I don't love too much smut. Like, I'll do a little bit, it's fine, but, like, this is a lot, and I was like, we're over it. I want more emotion. Like, I want that more. So it was a good plot, though. So that was every single book I read in 2023. I would say my top 3 books are If He Had Been With Me, When We Collided, and The Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes. I think these may have been the only ones I got 5 stars out of all the ones I read this past year. So I'm happy about it, and I just hope that you guys maybe end up picking up some of these books that I recommended, and comment down below your favorite book of 2023. If I would pick one, it would be If He Had Been With Me. But I'm super excited for this year, and I can't wait to see if I make my goal, which I know I will. I hope so. Bye guys, see you next video.